It is larger, of course, than the pyrite and larger than the elementum. Definitely very, very slim right there. So something like the PM2 is definitely going to be a lot wider. Let's say you do live somewhere where it is legal to own, illegal to carry, and if that's the case, if you're able to check those boxes, I want to say yes, you should definitely give this guy a try. Hello and what is going on, guys? Welcome back to Miguel EDC, where we talk everything EDC gear here. My name is Miguel, and today we're going to be talking about this guy right here, the Reate EXO-M. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, and you know exactly what we're talking about here. I got a chance to unbox this guy a couple of weeks ago in the channel. I've been having a chance to EDC this guy non-stop over the last couple of weeks, and it's about time because this guy has not left my pocket this entire time. I have prioritized EDC in this guy, and honestly, I also found it hard to put it down. I also found it hard to replace this guy in my pocket for so long. I'm trying to get into a rotation here with a couple other knives that I'm trying to review as well, so it was time for this guy to kind of give up its place for some other knives. But man, I find it so difficult because this is such a solid, good looking, awesome knife in so many different ways. I can't wait to get into it with you guys. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready. What are we working with right here? Let's get into it. So some quick size comparisons on this guy. Here it is compared to the Spyderco Smock. That is definitely a much larger knife, much larger handle, much larger blade. Here's the PM2 right there. That's also a larger knife, larger handle and blade. So this guy's going to be somewhere in the medium to small size, which is pretty neat for EDC tasks. Of course, the original Reate Exoskeleton is going to be a little bit larger than this guy for sure. This is more of a smaller version of that. Check out the Para 3 right there. So yeah, definitely very, very comparable to the Para 3, no doubt about that. Much more closer in size there than the PM2. We'll do a couple more. Here is the Demco 80 20.5 in the shark's foot. Here is the clip point, and again, very comparable in size, right? All of these are in the medium to smaller range of knives right there, so very, very comparable to those guys. The Demco 80 20.5 are next to the Sencut brothers here, Sencut Crawley and the Sencut Saxy. Very comparable to the Saxy as far as size. The Crawley is a little bit larger right there, but again, somewhere in that range. Here's the Ontario Rat Model 1 and the Ontario Rat Model 2 right there. And yes, a lot closer, I would say, to the Rat Model 2, right, in that medium to small size. Rat Model 1 is a behemoth of a knife. By the way, also the review on that guy is out very recently. If you haven't seen it already, check it out. Here it is next to the Civivi Elementum. The Elementum, that is the OG, it's a little bit smaller. Here is the CJRB Pyrite. I want to say it is larger, of course, than the Pyrite and larger than the Elementum. So there it is right there. You guys be the judge. Reate, if you don't know, makes some sexy, good looking, best of the business out there kind of knives, and this is the Reate EXO-M. We have a full titanium construction on this guy all around. We're going to talk more about that. We have a micarta black inserts right here as well, and of course this guy is a gravity knife, which is very, very legal in a lot of places. We're going to talk more about that as the video progresses, as we get into more and more details about this guy. But yes, this is a full-on gravity knife. Good thing about this one is that it has a locking mechanism, right? This mechanism right here is really, really good. It makes a huge difference compared to the OG Exoskeleton from Reate. It's a much larger knife which didn't have the locking mechanism. And without further ado, let's go ahead and show you guys the action on this guy. It sounds something like this. You all ready? Here we go. And I gotta tell you, that sound right there does not get all out. So you got the blade open there, you can lock it in place, and you know that blade is not closing on you. It sort of becomes a fixed blade at this point once you have it closed like that, which is pretty neat. I went ahead and got mine here in the double edge dagger blade. Wanted to get it like this because I thought that was pretty unique. The fact they were offering a dagger double edge version to this guy. It's also my very, very first double edge blade out of my whole collection so far. So I was excited for that. It is rocking a Stonewashed CPM 3V blade right there. So you guys can get a closer look. That's what we got going on there. We're going to touch more on that later on. But yeah, that's the name of the business, right? It is locked in place. In order to close it, just unlock here the latch. Boom, just like that. Now this guy is rocking a very squarish, boxy design. I sort of really love the aesthetics on this guy. There's this very like chunky, squarish, rectangular looking handle, right? Very, very unique to this guy. Let's do a quick carry profile here just for the sake of consistency and the reviews. There it is next to the PM2, just a little bit skinnier than the PM2. There it is next to the Spyderco Smock, still a little bit less than the Smock right there. Of course, the Smock has liners and also scales. This guy's one solid titanium construction. Next to to the 80-20.5. 80-20.5 is very slim on this Avery grade combination, so very, very comparable right there. All right, so what is it like in the pocket, right? What is it like in the pocket? This guy is so slim in the pocket. It really reminds me a lot of something, let's say like the Smock, right? Definitely very, very slim right there. So something like the PM2 is definitely going to be a lot wider. Check that out with Spidey hole. It takes off a lot of real estate for sure in the pocket. There's the Para 3, same story, right? This guy's still a lot slimmer than those two. All right, next to the Demko 80-20.5 brothers, still very, very slim by a long shot, right? Obviously the blade shape and how much it sticks out of the handle on the Demkos doesn't help. It makes them much wider right there than the Reate. Next to the Senka brothers, yep, definitely the Crawley is going to be the more comparable one, right? It has a much slimmer design compared to the Saxy with that humongous wide blade right there, right? You guys get the idea. And last but not least, we have the Ontario Rap Model 1 on top, Rap Model 2 at the bottom. And I want to say maybe it compares a lot more to the Rap Model 2, no doubt about that. The Rap Model 1 is, yeah, it's a chunker of a knife for sure, so it's a lot wider there. And just for giggles, here is the Civivi Elementum and the CJRB Pyrite. And yeah, definitely compares a lot to those two as far as the width. It is, yeah, definitely has that slim profile going on, which is very elegant, pretty neat. I want to say when it comes to gentleman knife, I want to say it used to be the Smock for me, right? But yeah, this Reate knife right here, that definitely kind of scratches that itch as well. So if I'm going somewhere, I'm doing any type of like gentleman carry with a suit or something, I might want to do the Reate EXO-M right there, because yeah, also serves that purpose very well. This guy is all titanium. Again, the double-edged dagger blade, and this guy has a couple of different configurations. I know there was a Tanto version as well. There was a drop point, which is pretty common, and there is the double edge, which is the one that I have here. Also for the micarta, there was black, green, and burlap. And given the other options, for me, yeah, definitely black was the way to go. It was, in my opinion, more elegant, better looking than burlap or green. But yeah, these guys were so popular, were in such high demand. It was basically a drop would take place in one of the major knife dealers, and it will be gone within the hour or so. There is a OG version to this knife, right? It is a much longer knife. I want to say the handle is probably, I really wish I had one so I could really do a side-by-side comparison, but I want to say the handle is probably a little bit longer than this guy. It'll be maybe something like 6, I want to say maybe like 5 inches overall, so a little bit longer, right? And obviously a longer blade. The only issue with the original Reate Exoskeleton is the fact that it didn't have the locking mechanism, right? So if this locking mechanism here didn't exist, I mean, you're talking about a knife that could open and close at any time, right? The really scary part with the OG version is that EDC carrying it was sort of a deal. You sort of had to get this very special plastic or this very special sheath. This is a very special sheath or knife holder for it if you wanted to carry it, so it definitely couldn't be in your pocket, so it would have to be some sort of belt buckle solution or something like that. And then the original one also didn't come with a clip, so just being able to put it in your pocket the same way you would any other EDC knife was a challenge with the original one. When I saw the original one, I knew right off the bat that I wanted to get one of these guys at some point. The second that I saw that it had that they were dropping this version here with a locking mechanism, right, which by the way, they knocked this guy out of the park. All right, so as soon as I found out it had a locking mechanism and a pocket clip, I was sold. I was like, okay, this is my time. This is my moment to go ahead and grab one as soon as possible. Shout out to one of my viewers who actually gave me a heads up and let me know that ncblade.com had it in stock. I immediately went to the website and placed my order. Did not waste any time. I was lucky enough to get this guy in the mail about 2 days later. I want to say the micarta feels a lot different than, let's say, the micarta on my Senka. Both of these are micarta. However, this one on the Senka, for example, is very grippy, kind of rough. I can tell the micarta on the EXO-M has been very polished. So in a way, it's up to your taste. I don't really mind it that much. I think it kind of goes well with the overall design. Exposed metal, you know, doesn't necessarily need to be, you know, all that extra grippy. It still gives you a good accent to the knife right there, with the micarta. But yeah, something to note is that it's not as grippy as some of the other micarta that you may be used to. That being said, I love everything about this knife. I really like the attention to details, you know, all the grooves, all the lines, right, everywhere. I like this screw right here, right? It's so nice and shiny, attention to detail, right? That gets some extra points in my book right there. When it opens, right, you could clearly see the separation right there. Oh, by the way, I wanted to show you what that locking mechanism looks like from the inside. Let me get some light right here. Yeah, it's so challenging to do, so challenging to do with holding the flashlight with the one hand and trying to do everything with my left hand. And of course it's a gravity knife, so you try to make sure it's like, okay, do I have control of the blade at all times so I know what the blade is doing, right? I like this nice imprint right here of the Reate logo, right? That is very nice right there. They didn't have to do anything crazy. I think that definitely gets the job done. Got a nice print right there on the blade for the CPM 3V. So in conclusion, would I recommend this knife? Would I recommend this gravity knife? So first of all, a couple of things that you need to do. The first thing I will say is be very familiar with your local laws, your local knife laws. Obviously, one thing you want to know for sure is it's going to be legal for you to own in your state. I can think of maybe California right off the bat where I know gravity knives are not legal whatsoever, even to own. I live in Florida, so you can own these and also carry them as well, which is pretty nice. So definitely do your homework there. The least thing you would want to do is you wouldn't want to buy a knife that you're not able to carry, or you would be considered illegal to own. Yeah, it is a gravity knife. It is considered illegal in a lot of places, so do your research as far as that goes. So that being said, let's say you do live somewhere where it is legal to own, illegal to carry, and if that's the case, if you're able to check those boxes, I want to say yes, you should definitely give this guy a try. If you have the OG, you already know what the gravity knife experience is all about. I want to say maybe upgrading or getting the lockable version will definitely make it so you could EDC this knife more often. Pocket clip and the lockability, right, being able to lock it shut, lock it open, definitely adds a lot of more functionality and day-to-day carry ability to it. And I would recommend this guy ultimately. Yes, I would definitely recommend this guy. I think this guy is very unique in its own way. Like I mentioned earlier, there are so very few knives out there offering what this guy brings to the table. Gravity knives that I've seen, there are some out there, but not as many are executed in such an excellent way, done so well, so fidget friendly, such great acoustics with such attention to detail. I mean, again, Reate nailed this locking mechanism. It feels so premium. It feels so satisfying just to lock and unlock this guy. The quality overall, I can see that this is a well-made knife. There aren't any inconsistencies or things like that, things out of place, except that pocket clip, like I mentioned earlier, feels a little generic. But yeah, other than that, which I have kind of gotten over, to be honest, at this point, everything else is so good about this guy. It is, yeah, definitely up there, definitely worth the purchase. And yeah, this is gonna be a keeper for a lifetime, this guy right here. Hopefully I don't change my mind at any point later on, but I don't see myself getting rid of this knife anytime soon. That's how good it is. It adds a whole different experience to my overall knife collection that other knives are just not able to provide. That is this guy right there. So I could go on and talk about this guy for days, right? We could really go on. I'm trying to make sure this video is not additionally or necessarily long or longer than it needs to, but yeah, there's so much going on with this guy that I'm so in love with. Reate, please, yes, keep innovating, keep making great knives like this one. But I mean, I feel like unique knives like these, very interesting and good looking designs like this one, I mean, these are one in a million. So if you have the ability to get your hand in one of these guys, I say go for it, right? Go for it. It will definitely be worth it. But again, do your research. Don't just watch my review. Check out other reviews on this guy on YouTube as well before you make your final decision. I'm sold. I'm so happy with mine. I can't begin to explain. If I miss anything, by the way, let me know in the comments any questions, concerns that you may have about this guy. Let me know any questions that I may have missed or perhaps I didn't answer on this video. Again, I'm trying to keep it short, not too long. Otherwise, I could be rambling here for hours. So if you made it this far, guys, you are the real MVP. Chances are the review on the Boker strike right here, the Warhawk strike from Boker, chances are the review on this guy is going to be live on the channel. If that is the case, I'm going to go ahead and put a card right here for you guys to check that out next. Thank you all for hanging out with me during this time. I love you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.